Hey there, I'm back. I'm Hibiscus Moon. I teach about crystal energy and I like to back it up with science so you can have confidence and effectiveness in your crystal work. So we're going to discuss, well, actually, if you didn't already watch part 1 of this mini-series, go do that right now. Today, in part 2, we're going to discuss how are the healing properties of crystals determined? Why are we influenced by the energy of crystals at all? And how does the programming of a crystal come into play? Because we often hear people talking about you need to program a crystal. So is that even a thing? All right, question of the day. First of all, did you watch part 1 yet? If you didn't, that's your assignment. Go do that. If you did, please comment a heart emoji. Just a little heart emoji so I know that you did watch it. And then as always, if you click on the link in the description box below, that's going to take you to my companion blog post where I have lots of related resources, any links that I'm referencing for you, all of that's going to be there. You might be wondering, how are the healing properties of a crystal determined? Part of that is determined by what element it's made out of, what element the crystal is made out of. So I have a little amethyst crystal right here. And so this is a silicon dioxide crystal in amethyst. There's a little bit of iron in there, but it's silicon and oxygen. The iron is what gives it the purple color. So that's where you get this beautiful color from, but if it didn't have the iron, it would just be clear. All right, so it is a quartz. It's part of the quartz family. So we have its crystal system, which happens to be a tetrahedral crystal system in its geometry. So how its molecules are arranged. And so this is actually a model of diamond, which is also part of the tetrahedral crystal system. So these are all carbon atoms, and that's the way a diamond's molecule is arranged. But a quartz molecule is arranged the same way. It's just that instead of all one element, carbon, it's silicon and dioxide, 2 elements arranged in this tetrahedral crystal system, which happens to be one of the strongest formations, geometric forms in the universe. All right, so that's how its molecules are arranged. Again, we have the specific light frequency that you're seeing, which is the violet light frequency in this example. And these things plus the DOR, the dominant oscillatory rate of the crystal, which I discussed in part 1, contribute to the specific healing properties of amethyst. All right, so we can say that although each individual amethyst might have a slightly different DOR because of the factors I discussed in part 1, all of these variables together help to determine the specific healing properties of this crystal. All right, so all amethysts have one kind of very similar energy, similar healing properties, although each one might have a slightly different personality. They all have similar healing properties. But we're leaving out the most important determining factor of them all. We are all slightly different too. And you need to determine for yourself the healing properties and correspondences for yourself of that crystal. How does this crystal work with you as an individual? Okay, because we're all slightly different from each other, right? Remember, we're made of all those different DORs that I talked about in part 1, all those different dominant oscillatory rates. We tend towards entropy quite easily, discussed that in part 1. The slightest little thing, right, happening in our environment, someone comes in and says a little something, something to us and it throws us off balance, or something going on in our environment, all kinds of things are happening right now, out of whack, and we get anxiety, right, and rightly so, and our DORs get knocked out of balance. And it can happen very easily. Sometimes it doesn't take much. We're very easily influenced. We tend towards entropy very easily, towards disorder very easily. We are highly influenced. We do not naturally easily maintain our DOR. We have to put a lot of work into our system to maintain our DOR. Crystals, being highly ordered and very stable solids, they have that stability, that resistance, that precision to their atomic structure, right? So because of that, they easily maintain their DOR. That stability gives a crystal a higher amplitude energy. Okay, if you think of like an amplifier for a guitar, right? That raises the energy of the music so it can be louder, louder, louder. Like in Spinal Tap, they put it to 11. Who knows what I'm talking about there? So, well, when energy is more stable, it becomes more powerful, higher amplitude. Amplitude is the maximum height of a wave, all right? So all of these waves here are the same amplitude, but if there was one wave that was higher up, that would mean it has more energy and it's higher amplitude. So that would be the energy that would be stronger. So the stability of the molecules in a crystal, that tends to create a more stable environment for the crystal and be of a higher amplitude. Thereby, higher amplitude is more of an energy influencer, okay? It becomes of a higher amplitude and therefore it can influence or entrain the energy around it. So crystals resist the influences that change other materials like us. Now, our quantum physics has proven where thought goes, energy flows, right? The Heisenberg experiments, if you know what I'm talking about there, if you don't worry about it. That proved that where thought goes, energy flows. Our conscious thoughts directly influence the actions of subatomic particles. That was proven by Heisenberg's famous uncertainty principle, the experiment. If you want to dig down that rabbit hole, I guess I'll put a link in my companion blog post for you, okay? And again, if you like this stuff, please subscribe to my newsletter, hibiscusmoongift.com. You're going to get an amazing gift. And go ahead and subscribe to that if you like this sort of information, because this is the kind of stuff I like to talk about. I love to talk about. What that Heisenberg principle basically demonstrates to us is that, again, where thought goes, energy flows. Keeping that in mind, the abilities to heal or change your perception of reality and vibrate at whatever your goal or desired frequency, those abilities are already present. They're present within the cells of your body, just waiting to vibe up and be influenced by the most beneficial frequencies, to vibe up with them. The technical term for that is entrain. You heard me say that before, okay? You want something to influence you to get to that goal frequency, where you want to be. So simply by thinking or observing, we're literally creating our own reality and perceptions with our thought patterns, right? Now, due to that rigid, precise structure, the energy of a crystal is more of an influencer. As I said, because of that stability. That stability gives it a higher amplitude energy. So we've established that. The crystals have this ability to influence the energies around them. Remember, when energy is more stable, it becomes more powerful, higher amplitude, right? It can influence and train the energy around it. I want to be cautious though. I want to say crystals and stones, we know they're quite powerful. We know they have this amazing energy and these abilities. They are tools and supports. They really work best if they're not left to just do all the work by themselves. Oh yeah, you know, someone might say, I got this lepidolite crystal. She said that it's supposed to calm me down. And you go about your business doing whatever you usually do, and you go, nothing's happening. See, I told you that wasn't going to work. So you have to couple the natural energy of the crystal and work with it as an ally with powerful intention, okay? This is important. This is an important ingredient. You want to bring your energy into alignment with that of the crystal. So once you're tuned in, you can set your intention and align with it, align with the crystal. So it's not about programming the crystal. It's about programming yourself. By tuning in first, we're getting into harmony with the energy of the crystal. Then by clarifying our intentions, we're making what can be sometimes really muddy work of communicating with source energy, with the universe, much more clear. And you're laser focusing your energy to your purpose and your objectives. Does that make sense? So doing that creates an even higher amplitude. All right, so we're talking about the principle of entrainment here. All right, if you want to look that up, physics principle of entrainment. Work with the crystals as allies. And then if you do that, sky's the limit. All right, remember, where thought goes, energy flows. So crystals, I see them as tools and supports. They can make the work, whatever the work is that you're doing, if you're doing manifestations, intentions, they can make the work easier. That's actually the definition of a tool in physics, is something that makes the work easier. So they do more than that. They act as a guide. They're energy influencers. They're our allies, a support that can really amplify your intentions if you have very clear intentions. So it's important to be clear about them too, so that you're not like muddying up the waters with what your intention is. Okay, I love this quote from Arthur Schopenhauer. He was this German philosopher, and it's so true for crystals right now with a lot of things, right? So he said, all truth passes through 3 stages. The first stage, it gets ridiculed. Sound familiar? Second stage, it's violently opposed. And third stage, it's accepted as being self-evident. So I feel like we're in that stage now where we're probably between the first and the second stage. And this is true for anything that we've accepted. We now know the Earth is not the center of the universe, the entire universe, but at one time we all believed that. And when someone first proposed that idea, it went through those 3 stages. So all new understandings, they go through these three steps, these 3 phases. So when people feel like, if you feel like your friends or your family are ridiculing you for your interest in crystals, just know that's totally normal. They're going through the 3 stages, right? That's just the way it goes. So be like, yep, I see where you're at. Okay. So remember to click on the link in the description box below. That's going to take you to my companion blog post. I'm going to have to remember to put that link in there for you, those you want to dive deeper into those physics principles. I'll put other related links and resources in there. And while you're there, you can sign up for my newsletter too. If you like this little mini series, the part 1, part 2, or just even one of the parts, please like, comment, and share on this video. That really helps my channel out. And also make sure you're subscribed if you're not already, and click the bell so you get notified whenever I release a new video. Okay, thank you for joining me here today. As always, crystal blessings and namaste. Thanks. Bye-bye.